Hello and welcome to episode 4 of Believe. I'm your host Bella, and as you can see, if you're looking at the video or you've already clicked on the careful you pass. As you can see, I have a special guest here today. This is my beautiful, beautiful mother, Natasha. If you have met my mum, you already know the deal. I honestly have thought long and hard about how to introduce you, and I honestly just think you don't even need an introduction. You can just see and witness, and we can just dive right into it. How does that sound? Perfect. Yay! Okay. So today I really want to awaken, inspire and activate you all with Mum here. She has this incredible ability to do this for anyone, and as my friends who have recently met her know, it's really an energetic thing that you just feel when you're in her presence. So I really hope that I know that comes across on video. So I'm really excited to, just let conversation flow as it usually does. But I want to start off by asking you what is something that in your life, or for the majority of your life, you have been manifesting, or your biggest manifestation that you always wanted to come true, and where you're at with that now and kind of how you got there, and let's see where things flow from then on.
Ooh. Well, first of all, thank you for having me on your show.
Thanks for literally having me and giving birth to me so I can be here.
It's just been this mutual exchange, an absolute honour and pleasure. And I'm so excited because I have been away for a very long time. So to show back up and have the mic here and the camera and it be with you is just, there would be no other way for me. And what an extraordinary question. My biggest manifestation to date is this. If you're not looking, I'm pointing at Bella. Back when I was, 17, 18 years old, 18, and I knew that I called you in. I knew that you were what was missing from my life, and saying it that way can be perceived as, but that was the truth, and in my soul I knew, and I called you in, I manifested you. And the moment that spark was inside of me, I knew that there was something extraordinary. I knew you were Isabella. I knew you were Isabella Angel, even without knowing what I know now. And so manifesting you into my world, and then the journey that we've gone on, it seems like my manifestation maybe wasn't working out so well. I wasn't sure what I was doing, but I continue to have faith. I continue to follow the word of God, which for me is not a religious thing. It's a energetics thing. Mm-hmm. You can look at it as God is a grand organized design, an extraordinary universal energetic game. And following that has now my biggest manifestation to sit here and to share my wisdom with you and to see you embodied in not just the wisdom that I learned the hard way, but
can confirm you learned it the hard way.
Of you. Yeah. The wisdom that your growth has brought me, and that it truly was a case of letting go and believe. So I live manifestation. And you really are the biggest indication of that, which I have spent 6-7 weeks now just still trying to come to terms with the fact that my manifestation is manifest, and it's amazing. It actually takes you some time when your manifestation comes and you're like, wait, is it real? And it's better than I could have manifested. So
definitely been a journey. I feel I love how I introduced you and just did that as a way of gassing me up.
always, I'm your number one fan.
But that's true, and right back. But that is so beautiful, so beautiful. I think, especially given the journey that we've been on. So obviously, you're sitting here and seeing us here together with this beautiful mother-daughter relationship that, is everything that we've both ever wanted. And I think safe to say that a lot of people want to have this relationship with their mother or this relationship with their daughter, but we didn't get here easy. I think in my childhood, along with all of the stuff that you had been through, and then being a kid and a teenager and trying to make sense of all of this chaos, there was a lot of resentment that I had towards you and Dad, I guess, just as parents, being like, why isn't my childhood like this or like the other people at school? So we're definitely not saying that it was bad, but it was definitely a journey to get here. Like, the idea of sitting here with your microphone and you and doing all of this only 2 years ago just sounds impossible, because we didn't have that relationship. And it honestly wasn't until you went and did the big scary thing that we were all like, don't go and do that, rah, rah, rah. As soon as you went and did that thing and we were all so worried about you leaving the country, then you did it. And I was like, oh, well, don't need to worry anymore. Like, she's got it sorted. So I'm glad that I have learned not to worry anymore because it's very stressful. And I don't miss that. But truly, truly, this is like any other manifestation coming to fruition. You do have to work on it.
Yes.
And the work doesn't look like what you think it looked like. It's not necessarily all journaling and all, meditating and breath work. It's a lot of different things. And it is really surreal to be sitting here, considering majority of my life I would not have wanted to sit here and do this. I've done this in the past. So to go through all of that trauma and healing, then we can finally say that we're here. So really want to emphasize the message that whatever you're wanting in life and whatever peace and freedom and play and creativity that you want to design for your life and connection, it doesn't come like from thin air. It doesn't come like from just sitting there.
Not yet.
So it's definitely been a journey, and I know that I find for me in the past when I would watch mother-daughter duos and things online, it would be really heartbreaking because all you're ever thinking is, I just want to have that. So if you are sitting there and thinking that, I want to send so much love,
feel you.
Yeah, because this relationship was quite the opposite for a very, very long time. And I know that I've spoken to many people and they've, discussed their childhood and their parents, and how they were raised, and that, there's just so many examples that relationships and connections do get better once you work on them. Yes, sometimes there are people that are not willing to work because it's free will, right?
Yes,
both of us had to be. You were always working on this relationship. I was not. I was like,
someone has to be put. Look, ideally, two people have to be putting in 100% each, but you can't expect yourself from everyone. So at first, you got to put in 100% yourself, and you have to believe in it. And I never gave up. I always believed. But I had to let go of for years and years and years. And there were many layers to it, to our story over a very long period of time. But there was always a belief, but then I had to let go of any expectation of any, just any control, anything like that. And
because
just
of free will.
Yeah, and just love and accept. And then that's where the power comes in.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a lot of work to get to that point. But it's a lot of work to not do it also.
Exactly.
So,
choose your hard. It's like you can not work on a relationship and, you know, it's easy in some ways because you don't have to have difficult conversations. You don't have to stick up for yourself. You don't have to set boundaries because those things are hard. They're one type of hard. But on the other side of that, you could set the boundaries and do the self-love and commit to yourself, and that will reflect in the relationship. So choose your heart, honestly.
And just, if it doesn't, it will reflect in your relationship, and it will reflect either to show you that that person is willing and able to now do 100% also.
Yeah.
But if not, that's then showing you that you're out of alignment in that relationship, and it can't just be one person doing the 100%.
Yeah.
So,
and I think that's, in regards to the mother wound, that's really hard because I know a lot of people who are really, you know, children really trying to put in the effort with their mother or father, but specifically with the mother, and if that's not being reciprocated, it is so unfortunate, and I feel for you all because that's really hard. It's really, really hard when you want to repair as you know, you can speak up from us when you want to repair a relationship, but the other person doesn't. I mean, I was a teenager and distracted and whatever, but it goes the other way, and I have seen it a lot going the other way, especially with my generation. Everyone is waking up and they are wanting to do the work and they are wanting to improve relationships. But it's hard to work against generations that have grown up with many traditions and many conditioning, and this is how you should handle your emotions. You just bury them down, that kind of thought process. So, yeah, specifically, yeah, the mother wound is a really hard one. But on, what you were saying about if they're not putting in the work back, it just means not right now.
that's right.
Just means not right now. It doesn't mean that things won't repair and that person, you know, could turn around when they have the resources to do so.
Right. And that's one of the biggest things is when you're doing your own change, it's not, you're doing the change for you. You can pray and believe and hope that it will help those around you, but it can't be that's why you're doing it. You're really doing it for you because that's what you desire, and you're sometimes accepting that things aren't the way that you wish them to be, and that's okay. It's how can I just be love within myself when I'm around them or away from them, if that's what's healthier, whatever it is. It's in that acceptance that's where everything begins to shift.
Surrender.
Yeah, exactly. It's a surrender. It's a letting go. It is a death in many ways. There's a grieving process, but the person's still alive, and it's like so.
It's grieving that relationship and then that part of yourself in that relationship.
That's right.
Like that is almost. I mean, that's all it's about. It's only ever about self. Not in the way of be selfish, be destructive, or don't care about anyone else. Not in that way. It's with empathy, always with empathy, but the decision is for yourself. The decision to repair the relationship is actually just so you can repair relationships within yourself. It's actually nothing to do with the other person.
That's right. Drop. That's actually the biggest and most powerful piece that, as you know, on the journey, you had to start to do the surrender and start to do those things in order for you to see that it was never about me.
Exactly.
Anyone else. It was you.
Exactly.
And vice versa.
And surrendering that belief that it is personal, because it's not. Nothing is personal. Ever.
It's just vibration, baby.
Nothing is personal. Nothing is personal.
Unless you want to make it personal.
Yeah.
If you want to make it mean something and make it personal, sure, you can identify with that, but it's actually only energetics.
Exactly. And turning it back around and seeing where... Oh, I totally lost my train of thought. It's just completely gone.
That happens to us multiple times daily. A reset is always good. I actually just want to check that this sound is... Don't mind me while we have a reset.
Yeah.
It's
I think I really prefer it with the headphone just to the side a little bit.
What's this? That's what I wanted to check. That might change the sound, but it's actually just turned it on.
Oh. Okay. So...
I love this because this is reality.
Exactly.
This is real TV.
Exactly. Honestly, if you guys... Oh my God, if we had recorded the process to literally get here, to get into this studio...
I swear, sorry.
Oh, that's fine. I just try not to.
I don't swear much anymore.
Yeah, I've put it on explicit, yeah. And really trying to be conscious with the words that we say, not only because in our human design we have defined throat chakras, which means the words that we say in particular, and potentially you, have extra power. So there's, defined and undefined. I know you guys want me to talk about human design, but that's coming. It's coming. It's only because it's a really big one, and it really requires me to like sit down and go back through my notes and then share them. So it's a big one. So it's coming. Stay tuned. Be patient. Thank you. But in regards to having a defined throat chakra, like you always say, our words are spells. Oh. So we really, really need to be careful. And going back on what you'd said before, it's all frequency. So you can give whatever meaning you want to anything. Like I mentioned in episode 2 with the angel numbers, the frequency... So you can create whatever meaning about swearing. You can think the C word is the grossest thing ever, or you can think it's no problem. But the problem is that it carries a frequency. So if subconsciously you might think, it doesn't matter, I swear all the time, and it means nothing. Subconsciously, and you don't know this because it's subconscious, it's very deep, deep down, but if you do have negative connotations attached and a negative frequency attached to that word, it's going to manifest based on that frequency. That's so right. Similar to what I talked about in episode 3, Dr. Emoto's water experiment, depending on, the study shows different words and how that affects the molecular composition of water. So it's not, we talked about this, it's not actually the words, it's the frequency. Yes. So the frequency of the word love versus the frequency of the F word, right? Different. In my programming,
totally different.
It is. And it is different.
For me, anyone who knows me from, knows not
your past lives.
The past lives.
Your past lives.
Most recently, Natasha Divine. I swore so much. Like, I was a passionate Christ consciousness swearer. And now like it. Like I don't, it doesn't feel right. The word doesn't feel, the words
it doesn't feel
right
aligned to the highest
because
versions.
I am embodied in my frequencies now. So if it doesn't energetically feel aligned, then that's my subconscious mind. That's the older part of myself, fragment of myself presenting and going, this. And then when I feel it, I go, oh,
yeah,
that's not me anymore. That doesn't. But it's because I didn't realize when I was doing it in dark femme stage and all of that. We can talk about
the dark femme stage.
We love that. I didn't recognize because my subconscious mind was patterning, and I'm trying to change the word. Go, but it's not a bad word anymore because I'm bringing it with a love.
Yeah.
But the word still does have a lower frequency. There's just, and you can test it out yourself by just saying to someone or to yourself, like, oh, effing this. No matter what way you say it, just effing this, or, oh, this. That there is a...
Yeah.
If there's a drop, you'll feel a drop, and as soon as you feel a drop in yourself, that's your energetics telling you something. That's something that's a descent. So you're descending from your actual soul and higher self that goes up.
Whereas there's words.
A bit crazy now.
I don't think. No, I think that's. Okay. I think if you think about, higher frequency, lower frequency, the word love, peace, happiness, creation, play, boom, 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 boom. The words fear, guilt, sadness, anger, the way that they make you feel, their frequencies are different. Like a frequency, I don't know how basic if I need to get into that, but if we go off the basis that everything is frequency, everything is energy, quantum physics, this is science, then I don't really know how to best explain this. I just think this one is. This one just is. Do you know what I mean?
And take it back to
everything
the water
is,
one.
Everything is energy. Like, it is a fact. I don't know how to explain it better. I think we're I'm so used to having to have, evidence and things before I believe it, first of all, because they're very strong belief systems, but also then when I share it. So... And that's exactly what I do here on the podcast is I try and, take something or take a belief that I've come to and then back it up and explain to you guys why I believe that. But the one with just everything being frequency is just a fact. So I'm just going to need you to Google it because that one is just already there. But, and this is... this is just going all over the place now, but it just came up to me is that, once again, everything being frequency includes money. So money is a frequency. This is such a interesting one because even for myself, we all struggle with this.
Oh, yeah.
That conditioning is so deep that in order to get money, you need to work hard. But... the thing that changed my entire perspective on that is that some of the hardest working people I know are still suffering. So you can be working really hard and earning lots of money, or you can be working really hard and earning none at all. Same thing. You could be doing nothing and earning nothing, but you can be doing nothing, right? Yeah. I'm just going to, in quotation marks, nothing, and earning money. So, I wanted to throw that one in there just because it's not something that I grasped immediately, or one that I fully have, because there's a lot of subconscious programming behind there. Money doesn't grow on trees. You need to do this. You need to do that. There are that many examples of people living their dream lives. That's all. That there are examples of people doing the things that you want to do, and whatever they're trading for the money is something that you would be happy to do. I don't know. I like to think of like the house sitting.
Yeah.
House sitting to me is just an example of how manifestation can work, how you can earn money and have a safe place to stay just by doing the regular house chores as you would and living as you would in this house, feeding the animals, whatever. There's an example. You can do that. You can make so many things work. This isn't going to be a money episode, but I just wanted to reiterate that message, because although it doesn't solidify the first time you hear that money is energy, the more that you know that, and the more that you tie that in with just the law of karma. The law of dharma as well is when you're in your purpose and you're doing the things that you love and giving, you will receive that. You will receive it back even more. So, just a little side quest there.
It's a really, really important one, because if you tie that back into you are the frequency. Okay, first and foremost, you're the frequency. So if it's money, which money is a frequency that you desire, there's a reason why you want that money. You want the money for something. What is it that you want it for? Because that thing that you want it for is the feeling, whether it's a product, service, experience, etc. So it's an energetic. Now,
I think pulling back an example on just, you say you want something. So, for example, your dream car, you say, what's an example? I don't know. I did this in the first episode
Ferrari,
as well.
Red Ferrari.
Red Ferrari. Why do you want a red Ferrari? Because you want to zoom around and feel what? Free? That's the feeling. It's not that you want a red Ferrari. It's that you want to feel free. Okay, yes, your human wants a red Ferrari. Your ego probably wants a red Ferrari. But your soul wants to feel free.
Yes.
Or wants to feel peace, or wants to feel
I have an
expansion.
example about that in that one. I'm going to pop in with this one because...
Go for it, and then continue.
In my training way back forever ago. But anyway, there was a guy who... He wanted a Ferrari so bad. Like, that's what he was working for. Everything was about this Ferrari. And when we broke it down as to why he wanted the Ferrari, it was because he felt that if he got a Ferrari, his dad would be proud of him. He was a grown man. He was a dad. He was an adult.
The father wound.
But when you get to it, when you get to the core, it's one way or another of feeling. It's something. Now, sometimes it needs a little bit of support. And sometimes it's the thing that's going to give you the fire and spark to activate, to manifest, and create.
You're digging
more of what you want. The feeling. But it always comes back to you because, for example, the percentage, I don't know what the percentage is, but it's really high, of people who win the lotto do not... do not maintain the lotto.
It's gone.
It gets lost. It goes. And this is... now I just got the interruption.
I can jump from there. So the reason for that is because it's so interesting with the lotto because you've attracted it in, right? Because obviously we all want the lotto. It's the easiest way to... I mean, not easiest. It's the easiest way, given the conditioning, to come into a lump of money from doing nothing, quote unquote nothing. And quite often the reason is because they get the money and they're not aligned to the frequency of somebody who has millions of dollars. So hear me out. The frequency of somebody who has like, what is a lot of, like, you win like 88 million. Let's go with 88 million.
That's a massive jackpot. That has happened in the States.
Right?
That's loads of times.
That is a lot of money. So somebody where I am right now versus somebody with 88 million. Okay, I want to get on the same frequency, but let's be real. I'm not on that frequency right now because somebody who has $88 million does not give a flying flip about what, pasta is the cheapest per gram. So when I'm looking in Woolworths and going, oh, that's $100. Okay. I mean, that's $1.07 per 100 grams. Oh, this one's 98 cents. Yep. Grab that one. First of all, that is not the right frequency to be someone who's winning the lotto or on track for winning the lotto. I mean, that can still happen, but I'm not aligned. So then what would happen is, out of alignment, I would get the $88 million and I would just blow it on all these things and buy all these things and go, okay, well, you want a car and you want a car and you want a trip to the Maldives. But then before I know it, it's all gone. Because another fact of somebody who has $88 million, they probably have someone who manages their finances, because that is a trained professional in that area. It would make sense that with that amount of money, you would have that. Now, I don't have that. So there's a misalignment. So somebody with $88 million values the service of someone who can put that whatever into investments or have it, you know, spread out.
Oh yeah, or
safely,
the conscious have their own conscious.
Yeah, like you don't need someone to manage your money, obviously.
No. But if you're in that vibration of, oh, it's okay, I'll have someone assist me in the management of my money. That's a frequency of,
that's better language.
I trust that there are other people that can provide a service exchange for my money to be protected, but I'm going to oversee it. I'm going to, or like me, I am the complete, aligned with God. I'm the complete manager, the complete everything of all of everything I have. I don't have the government or anybody in, you know, I've exited the matrix. So I'm in full vibration. So I know that when the time is aligned, I just know I have everything. I don't need to look at the price of the pasta unless I am a conscious, my design is just a conscious, you know, because I know that one, you don't need to just throw shit away. You're not frivolous. Exactly. But I also don't fuss because, like you and I, we know that we are abundant because we believe in our vibration. And we believe that when the time is right, we will receive everything that God has for us to do the work, to do the mission. And I say work, but mission. And we will be able to hold the capacity because, and then with that high capacity, that 88 million, we know how to service our community. We know what to do.
Exactly.
With it.
We have other resources and people that we can go, okay, well, now that we know we want to build XYZ, we know the people that can do that. Here you go. Here's the cash. Go do the building.
And we also understand that when you're at that level, that's a lot of money. It's a lot of responsibility.
I just keep like thinking about how much money, like that's the perfect place to start of going, well, what would you do with $88 million?
So with great power comes great responsibility. So if you're doing the inner work, you're accessing new levels of power. So new responsibility comes. Like for me, I was speaking on a world stage. I was connecting, and I had a responsibility because my voice, words are spells. There's power in the voice and in the teachings. And then when God said I had to remove my voice, I had to remove for safety and for all these different reasons. I was like, oh my God, I'm cut off. Does this mean I don't have the capacity to hold? To hold an audience. To be the leader that God's shown me to be. What? So I had to go and really, truly reassess my vibration, recalibrate with myself so that nothing else was an influence, nothing else was a responsibility. What wisdom do I have? What capacity do I have?
That's really coming back to self. That's really almost sensory deprivation in a way, like getting rid of the distractions. And because it is distracting, like having people message you is not distracting in a bad way, but it is taking you away from self because now you're like, oh, I'm helping someone else. Okay, need to respond to my message to, you know, help a friend or, you know, help them transmute this. And so stepping away from that is when you come back to self and that you can show up then better next time.
That's right.
You show up more in alignment. Like, pardon me, even this morning before seeing you, I was so tired. I did not want to get up this morning.
We were
Very
like zombies.
So sleepy. And then I sat on one of these chairs and I was just, there with my eyes closed. I was kind of like wanting to sleep. But I knew I couldn't, so I was like, okay, well, I guess it's meditating then. And then, I was honestly just sitting there with my eyes closed and I just came back to self because it's just having that intention to do that. It's meditation, not being, oh, I need to get my pillow and I have to go sit outside and I have to put my music on and my incense. It's literally just taking the time wherever you can, wherever you're sitting, wherever you're standing, to come back to self, either come back to your breath or having just gratitude. Like, I hadn't come back to self and sat and gone, oh my God, it's nearly been, this was this morning, it's nearly been a year since my life did a 180, I guess.
Yes, sister.
Know, right? I don't know what to refer to that. Yeah. But it's nearly been a year, and after having so many journal entries of like, I just want to be living in alignment, I just want to be sharing the things that I find interesting, and in the hopes that that will be helpful to somebody, and having a platform to do that, and being surrounded by nature and being surrounded by animals, and not being in my soul-sucking 9-to-5 job, even though that's what I'm most qualified for. So yeah, really, it was just coming back to self and sitting there and going, oh my God, like complete, like 180 from where I was about a year ago, and sitting in that gratitude. So, rather than, because I know that some people are really interested in meditation, I wanted to say that my form of meditation is not this perfect, like, Om sort of situation. It is just when you have a moment to come back to self, using that time wisely, because so many times we have time for ourselves, but instead we reach for our phone and we're scrolling. And I just, every time I do it, I'm like, why am I doing this? But yeah, instead of grabbing for my phone, it's just sitting there in the silence like a grandpa with like
your own thoughts. So like sitting there in silence, like that used to be scary to me. Like, I'm so neurodivergent. I'm so divergent. Like that was really difficult for me. I was like, what do you mean silence? There's never any silence.
Yeah, like that's impossible.
What? But it's silence from, if you're not scrolling, and if you're not like, what am I going to post? What am I going to share? How am I going to help the world? Or, oh, so-and-so's this, so-and-so that. They've got this problem. They need me for that. Hey, get all that off. That's the human in the driver's seat of your conscious vessel. When the soul's in the driver's seat and you're just like, oh, okay, I'm aware of those thoughts that are coming in. They're mine. I'm having them. Oh, shoot, why am I having these? Does this fit? Is this what I want to be having? Is this mine? Because if it's not yours and it's somebody else's problem, okay, shoot, just start swiping it away.
And that is honestly what I think the key to meditation is. It's the swiping the thoughts away, but not, it's like having the, I'm going to have to close my eyes because this is how it comes up, but it's like having all the thoughts. So you're the observer, you're sitting in your chair, in your brain, and you're like, what's going on around here? And you've got clouds passing through, and one of those clouds is like, oh, I need to super glue my fan together. And then you're like, oh, okay, shit, I kind of need to remember that cloud. So I'll like grab that cloud and I'll just put it over there. So it's like, I'll think of it later, but I've addressed it. So I think when I first was trying meditation, I would have that thought, and then I would be like, oh my God, no, don't think about that right now. It's like, no, yeah, have the cloud, look at it, pause on it. Okay, yep, I'll deal with that later. Then another cloud comes through, like, oh, I reckon my friend hates me. That cloud, I already know, is just rubbish, and
is not a happy cloud.
That's not a happy cloud. It's coming from lack. It's coming from ego. Okay, let's have a look at it. Why would I be thinking this? Is that because I'm feeling XYZ? Okay, all right. Honestly, I can decide to process that cloud right now. If it's that bad that it's taking me away from being present, then I'll look at that cloud and go, why do I think my friend hates me? Is it because, I don't know, that's a really dramatic one. And
no, but it's great because
it's valid.
It's in your awareness, and I'm gonna swear a little. I'm just gonna say it's bullshit.
Yeah, it's
like it's a bullshit thought, because if your friend doesn't like you, well, are you really friends?
Yeah, and I was honestly thinking about it more from like an anxiety perspective.
No, but it's good because see where the anxiety loop happens, because your brain starts telling you all these different stories that actually aren't true. So if it comes into your awareness in that moment, and you can address it without making it too dramatic, then, and as you were talking, actually, I just got that meditation, it's a journey. It's a journey. Allow yourself to go on that journey, and you might have to clear something.
It's a ride,
alchemize, and transmute our feelings. You might just, we're so afraid that, oh yeah, but if I think about why they don't like me, like, then it's just going to spiral, and that's where anxiety starts to feed and come.
Exactly.
But you don't have to, everything doesn't have to be such a dramatic.
It's just a cloud.
Yeah, like,
it's just
it's just a thought, it's just a feeling, and love yourself through it, and you'll probably uncover that it's some subconscious programming.
Exactly.
That you can actually clear.
And and that's the thing, it's literally just thinking.
Yeah,
just that. Obviously, so the meditation as a practice, for me, has been the practice of getting to the point where I can go to a place and just be rather than think. But to get there, for someone with anxiety, for someone with a defined head center in human design, means we're constantly receiving information. Constantly, it's buzzing up there. Neurodivergence, whatever you want to call it, it is buzzing up there. So for me, it was a practice of the first time I ever sat down, there were a whole lot of thoughts and I hated it. And then, and that's something that plant medicine really helped me with. So cannabis helped me really be present, and I was able to consciously smoke and then, sit there and observe the thoughts that were going on while I was high. And it was an easier experience because I was now seeing it from a different perspective. I was letting go. Now I was like, all right, what's on up here, rather than
what show have we got going on.
Exactly.
And because you're more more mellow kind of state.
Yeah, your nervous system as well, the CBD is doing
your nervous system's feeling safe. Yeah. So then you can go, yo, what show we got going up here? And that show, how's that connected to the feeling in here? Because once you can match up what the show, the thoughts are with the feelings, all new neurons start to fire.
And when your heart and your brain can come together. And that's the other thing, is the show that's playing is your reality. There's so much on that. That's a fact. The way that you think is the projection of your reality. It is just the basics. Book recommendation for that. Always Dr. Joe, You Are the Placebo, Always. But even some other ones.
Gosh, most of my resources are direct from God now.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just trying to think. Well, we've got one.
We'll put it in the, we do.
Yeah, something just about
a library.
Yeah, there's really, really great resources on how, the way that you think is the way that your reality is. It's just as simple as that. As simple as, training your brain to see the positive in things. Like, I don't experience the dense negative things. Like when someone comes up to me and they're like, oh my God, there was like a 500 person, okay, that's a bit dramatic, a 500 person stack up car crash and like 3 people were killed this morning. It's like, I know, it's like, is that God bless, sending so much love. But that, knowing that, doesn't help me at all. Doesn't help me.
Yeah,
that is
sharing that information doesn't.
It's dense.
That's a fear. That's the person who's low, who's received that information. It's very scary information. It's very yes, but it's not yours. It's not your story. It didn't happen to you. But if you've heard it and you're feeling it, and you don't transmute what that is for you, you will then go tell someone else. You're now spreading more misery, really, because it's you that needs to resolve whatever that situation is for you. And that can sound so harsh, but it's true, because coming back to that reality, the thoughts and perceptions that you have create your reality. You're the one that's clicked on the news article, and that's created that reality for you. Like, I don't look at the news for 1,000 reasons, but the main one being it's way too dense and negative, and
especially, okay, if you watch the news or you know, like traffic updates, fair enough. If you're on the road, that's why, you know, that example, I understand when people are on the road, they want to know what's going on. I get that. If you're going to look at the news, do not do that first thing when you wake up and last thing when you go to bed, because the brainwave that you are in is so suggestible. So the theta brainwave is where so much happens.
You're in your highest hypnotic state.
Exactly. There we go.
And something really important to understand is that the news and a lot of music is designed and programmed with specific frequencies to make you even more programmable and suggestible. So you must, everything is hypnotherapy. I'm speaking to you now as hypnotherapy. But so everything is
on your
but
state.
News is specifically designed to program your mind for you to be a part of the matrix. So there are frequencies in the sound, even if you're not watching it, you're just hearing it in the background. And it is repetition, which is in hypnosis. That's how the programming happens. So you'll see on the news, they'll actually use footage from years ago or from something else, and they'll repeat it on for a new story. So you don't actually really know what you're even watching anymore. There may have been a car accident today, but do we need to see it so graphically?
And that's the thing, is there may have been a car accident. There may not have been. Like, I get to choose my reality, and in my reality, I don't need to focus on that. It's not beneficial, because now I have to transmute that. Because now I've walked in and I've seen the news and I've heard 10 people killed, like this people, that, this, that.
Yeah, now I'm remembering a personal situation too that I've experienced, and it's like, oh, I'm healed with that. Why do we have to feel this on a Monday afternoon? Exactly.
So then the resources that you have now have to be used to transmute that, because the word murder, the word homicide are low frequency in my brain, and I'm sure they are in yours too. So then it's more effort to transmute, because you've just added in this extra wild card. That's why, to me, the news is a wild
and
card.
Now you are a human doing instead of a human being, because it's taking you out of your being. You're now having to do all this stuff to transmute. You're adding extra stuff into your nervous system and your frequency. How are you going to be in alignment with the things that you want now?
And so now you have to sit here, and now you're like, well, now I have to meditate because I've just seen the news.
And now I need to go and take some pharmaceutical because I have a headache. Like, no, that's what it's all designed for. What you want to do is remove from your field anything that is...
You don't have to... You don't have to
do anything you don't want to do.
Exactly.
Like, literally, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do.
I think some people think it could be ignorant, but I have enough people to tell me what's going on anyway, because other people are doing it. Like, someone will be like, oh, did you hear this? No, but cool, now I'm aware, thank you. If it's that important, I'll find out. How long have we had TVs streamed to us?
I'm too busy receiving information about space weather and what's actually going on this planet, not what happened down the road or in another suburb.
Yeah, but what I want to say as well is that this 24-hour news cycle didn't exist. So this isn't like, no, I don't want to listen to, I don't want to know what's going on. No, because we didn't used to know what was going on over there.
Oh, if you really knew what was going on, you wouldn't want to put your energy into something else like that.
Exactly. How naive are we to think what's shown on the TV is what's actually going on? I'm sorry, that's just actually naive, and I am one of the most naive people, and I really, real bless. Anyone that knows me knows that I'm like, oh, I don't think so.
I used to be like that too.
I think it's okay. I think that they just have the best of intentions. I don't think, so I am... No, I was going to say again, but my words are powerful, so I won't say it again, but I don't know where I was going with that. That's fine. That's totally fine, because obviously we're giving that too much attention. But yeah, what I did want to say is that just choose what you want to choose. You don't have to do
What you're
anything
absorbing.
that doesn't light you up. So do something else that lights you up. For me personally, I'd rather go pet the dog than listen to the news. Zeusy, he's such a good boy. Only to us though. Only to, he knows.
Well, yes.
He knows what's
He's
up.
our protector.
He's a good boy. He's a big boy. I don't really know where I was going with that, but while we are at this point, I think it would be a wonderful time to finish up the episode. I don't know where that 50 minutes went.
50 minutes.
50 minutes. So thank you again. Yeah, I am so thankful to have you on here. It had been not only a journey to get here in terms of our relationship, I mean literally to get here. To have the laptop set up, to actually be connected, for the microphone to be here, just everything. It's been a journey. So I'm really, really thankful for your ears, for your attention today. And yeah, as always, let me know what was in here that you want to pull out more of, what you would like Mum to speak more of, because she has loads and loads of incredible information, and anything that isn't already there she can just get from God. So it's pretty handy, just having, you know, God on speed dial. So any questions, send them through. You know the drill. Thank you so much love and light to you all. And I hope that you have been activated, awakened, and even a little bit triggered, because we know that if you're triggered, that means eventually you'll come round to the realization. So
it's an activation. It's a spark of consciousness.
It's a disguised activation. Exactly.
Love.
Your ego is just uncomfortable with it, but once you sit with it, you'll unlock parts of your soul that you didn't know were there. I reckon.
Oh, 100%.
I know, I'm like,
And
I reckon.
That's
yeah,
what,
I
like,
reckon.
and we actually were going to speak on all of that today.
Oh, God, yeah, we actually did have stuff to speak on,
Which
but
would
you
make
know.
more sense to it all, but like it's your soul. It is the spark of your soul, the light of your soul, what lights you up, and I look forward to talking more about that.
Yes, thank you so much. Love you. Oh, we're going to make the things crash really loud. Mwah. Okay, love you guys so much. I will see you for episode 5. Mwah. Have the best one.